Welcome once again to another live show of Shop Culture. Man, oh man. So I'm joined, you guys know who I'm joined by, the relationship guru. You know, he is Dr. / Mr. James R. Hill.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Okay. The producer Ron sitting in the chair. Back there, my man, Mr. Nick Jones.
What up?
Then we got my other man over here next to him. What do we decide? Videographer.
I think I
Mr.
know what you should say. You should just say my actual name. It's Lucas Allgood.
Lucas Allgood?
Lucas Allgood.
Lucas Allgood.
That's your last name?
That's my last name.
Oh, you killing
Hey,
that.
for real? That's university?
I'll show you my ID.
Yeah, we gotta see that ID.
Lucas
Allgood.
Lucas Allgood.
Oh, he killing it. Oh, you know what?
The
Forget that.
videographer.
And I'm very all good. I'm taking over that thing. That's some heat right there. I'm killing it. Woo! I'm killing it. I'm changing the name. No, I'm Barry Crosby. And once again, thank you guys for tuning in. You know what this is. This is Shop Culture, where we talk about all things relationships. And man, we're gonna get it popping. But how was your weekend?
Man, my weekend was busy.
Okay.
Man, it was just nonstop. I don't know when I'm gonna get some rest.
Yeah.
You know, granddaughter's birthday. She turned 4.
Oh wow, big 4.
She had a big wing ding. And
Uh-huh.
she's into unicorns, I guess.
Okay.
I guess.
And LOL dolls. That's the thing.
What is that?
LOL dolls are these little black dolls with big eyes and
And they're called LOL.
LOL dolls. It's a
Like
thing.
the brat,
You know?
Doesn't it make you upset when you look at like kids' toys and to know that you just got to come up with an idea?
Right.
It's like a simple idea,
And
and it'll just blow up. Seriously.
yeah, you push
Seriously.
it to the kids
You
and
push
they
it to the
push it to
kids.
their parents.
Yeah.
Y'all should check out this documentary called Toys on Netflix.
I actually
It's
see.
exactly to what you're saying.
Yeah, okay. So check out toys and yes. So we got the Shop Culture heads out there. Man, let's come up with a toy gimmick. Let's get on these. Let's get on these. Get on this. Make sure you guys say hello to us. Let us know how you living, how you doing. Say hi. You said you went to an event too that was popular. What was on,
Yeah,
on Sunday night?
it was kind of a day party grand opening
Okay.
for La Familia. It's the new sports pub in Des Moines area.
I gotta ask the brothers. The brothers own that. What's up with the name? I like the name. I'm just like that's some
Oh, that's a
different.
black old
Yeah. I like
So,
it.
Some of my personal friends, they opened up. They did a great job. It
Yep.
looks fabulous inside. You got a real nice setup. Food's good. You guys check it out. We'll be doing a live event from there very soon.
Shop Culture is invading. Shop Culture's invading.
It's next to the Walgreens on Pack Highway in Des Moines.
It's a nice location. Plenty
La
of parking.
Familia.
Yeah. We will be there, and we are planning something. So that's great. Man, yeah, my weekend really low key. Family. But hey, I'm
Always
blessed.
first.
It always first, but I'm blessed that family is still here, and that's always a blessing. So that's was my weekend, and man, I'm ready to get to it, man.
All right.
Every Tuesday night at 8:30, you know what this is.
There we are.
And once again, guys, we want to thank each and every one. We got some IG. How you doing out there on the IG land? We got some people saying hello. Renee, Miss Elizabeth.
Hey, Elizabeth.
Wait, Elizabeth, you got a granddaughter? You look really? Dang. Man, black don't crack.
She said her granddaughter's in the unicorns.
Oh, see, Elizabeth,
Wow.
you could have came up with that, man.
We got to set up the play date.
We got okay. So getting to it. But once again, guys, man, thanks for becoming a member on the Shop Culture Live group.
It's litty.
Man,
It's lit.
we've been getting a lot of feedback. You guys are liking it. You guys are inviting your friends. We appreciate it. But once again, we always want to keep things civil on there.
Right?
And just to understand, listen, we're doing this as kind of a place for, I would say, the grown and sexy to kind of hang out, talk, communicate, and discuss, different things going on relationship-wise. Let's keep it like that. Let's keep it lighthearted, having fun, and no personal attacks. So I
Right.
definitely want to get that out there.
And a lot of things that we're discussing in this group are things that people are thinking about but don't necessarily have the courage to bring up and talk about it. Well, we're talking about
Shots
Yes.
fired.
Yeah.
it. We are bringing it up. We're talking about it because this is what people experience in their everyday lives. And we want to enhance your lives relationships.
That's
That's
it.
the goal.
and that's how this all started. It started from, saying the shop culture, doing this, to the live group doing that, and that's what it is. And and then also thanks Mr. Pastor Sam Wilson was on yesterday, and I want to thank him, and man, really good little pop up. And you know what? We're gonna start doing pop ups with you guys, man. We want to know about the members actually in shop culture. So I'm gonna be hitting you guys up and asking, hey, do you want to be a part of the 10 to 15 minute segment? You smiling, but we can get to that a little bit later.
Pastor Sam goes in.
Pastor Sam.
The man we be talking about.
Oh yeah, he was talking about all that. But Sam, I gotta ask you though. I'm still waiting on some scripture. Sam, I still need some scripture, but hey, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there from Mr. Sam Wilson, Pastor Sam Wilson. Moving forward, so let's get on to some of the topics that were hot in the Shop Culture Live group.
All right, so first topic. Want to keep your man, stop checking to see if he's cheating, and start checking to see if he's happy.
So I got to ask you about that, no, because you came up with this.
Okay.
So your thought process when you made this meme or posted
Well,
this
my
meme.
thought process was so many people are so focused on, is my man cheating?
Mhm.
What's he out there doing? Do I need to check his phone? Do I need to check his moves? But are you checking to see if you're meeting his needs? Is your man happy?
Mm-hmm.
Be sure in your heart that your man is happy. Give him something to want to come home to.
Mm-hmm.
Breathe life in his spirit. Be his peace. Be his physical, his emotional.
Okay.
Be that to him. And you won't have to worry. If he's happy, and most of all, communicate with him. Is there something that you need? Is there a need that you're not fulfilling?
Okay.
And this goes both ways. But women are more often the FBI agents that go on these investigation sprees to see if their man is cheating. It may be insecurity on their part,
Mm-hmm.
and they go on these investigations.
Usually when they're investigating, though, isn't there probably or might be a reason behind that, or you just think that they're usually investigating just out of the blue?
More often, they may see it as something is going on, but they're looking at it the wrong way. Instead of, is my man cheating? Is my man happy? And if you know your man is happy, you're not going to worry about if he's cheating.
Well, let's play devil's advocate.
Okay.
Is that up to the woman to make sure that you're happy?
I was going to ask the
No.
same thing.
No, we're responsible for our own happiness.
Okay.
But you check on him to see, babe, are you happy?
Are you checking in on your significant other to make sure that they're happy?
You're checking in on their happiness, their level of happiness. You can't make them happy. They're responsible for their own happiness. But you can inspire their happiness.
Okay, let's
Better
dig
way
it.
of putting it, frankly.
Well, Nick,
No,
when you hear that, what's your first thought, Nick?
What exactly?
On this whole, on what he's saying in terms of the happiness to the degree, because I think happiness is somewhat overused in relationships.
Why is that?
Elaborate on that.
I think everybody wants this false sense of what happiness is, whether or not I'm in this relationship, I'm happy, or are you happy? A lot of times, though, you have got to find the happiness for yourself.
Absolutely.
Right.
And then that happiness, if you're happy with yourself, I think that will also help the relationship, because that person would radiate that happiness and see that you're either giving that happiness or you're in that being of happiness.
So going back to inspiring and adding on to someone's.
Or are you taking away from that happiness?
But that's true.
Are you contributing to, or are you taking away from that happiness? You want to be a contributor to someone's happiness. It's their decision.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you are or if you're not, and where to draw that line. So if they're not happy, it's up to you to make yourself happy, regardless if that includes that person or not. So I'm not saying you can make a person happy, but you check on their happiness.
Well, it's a check-in.
It's a check-in.
Okay, but how often do you check in on the happiness? Because if you're checking in on people's happiness changes drastically. And I'm just going to be honest. I think women's happiness changes way more than men does.
Right.
I think
and
a
you
lot of
read
times,
their body language.
Okay.
As you get to know someone, you say something's wrong. Are you good? What's wrong? What can I do? You want to talk about something? Something you want to talk about? That's all it is.
as men, isn't our happiness pretty easy? Aren't we pretty? I mean, you feed us, you sex us, you let us watch the game. It's
And
really
don't
three-
nag.
Well, okay, yeah.
Because you can nag a man out of a relationship.
Oh, absolutely.
You can nag a man right out the door. So be conscious, ladies, of if you're nagging or not, and know what that is.
And where do women get the nagging? Is it usually kind of they see their mother nagging, or is it because a lot of times I think women nag and don't even know they're nagging.
Some are
They
just
don't.
irritating.
It's
They
just
just want to hear themselves. They just want to hear themselves.
So what do you think that comes from, Nick? That's what I'm at. You know,
it's an
Just
attempt.
being- Go ahead, Doc.
It's an attempt for them to get a result.
but that's not how you get the result.
But and that's where the ladies have to recognize by repeating yourself over and over and over and interjecting negative body language and tones of voice is not going to get it. Try another way.
Let's read some of these.
Okay. So everybody is basically just chiming in.
Okay.
Miss Elizabeth Fielder says, "I'm in the 50s club."
Okay.
Okay. Well,
It's magnificent.
Black
Okay.
definitely don't crack.
Let's see, and then Renee.
she reminded me of that How to Stella. Was that How to Stella Got Her Groove Back? Was that the one with Angela? Which one was it with Angela
That was
Bassett?
how Stella got her groove back.
Boy, that was,
Now,
I
why
love
she
that.
got to be getting her groove back?
I'm not saying you. I'm just saying.
left.
Her groove never left. Right.
Okay.
What is Barry talking about?
Miss Fielder, I apologize. They're absolutely
Wow.
yes. It has not left. I'm just saying it reminded me of that movie. That movie was goodness, Angela Bassett. Oh God.
Right.
Oh,
Woo!
let me get back to the
Okay, yeah, my bad. All right.
Renee says he can also check to see if his woman is happy as well. And you know what, Renee? You're right.
You're absolutely right, Renee. It's
Mhm.
a two-way street. Yeah.
Oh, and somebody just
Okay.
yeah, you came up with somebody who
William
said it.
says, trust each other, spread positive vibes, don't wish ill on one another.
And real quick, William, shout out to William. What's up? William is gold star subscriber on ShopKulture. I had to tell him. That.
Okay. All right, William.
William, man.
Top fan. We appreciate you.
Man, Will.
Renee asked a good question.
So, okay, fellas, let's go around the room.
Okay.
What do you
Starting with
consider
Barry.
nagging?
Yeah, I was about to say, start with Barry. What do you exactly? Take it away.
Oh man, I had a lot of that. Just repeating yourself constantly, repeating the same thing, and not recognizing if I'm making an effort to try to change a certain behavior. I think to me that became an over nag because you keep on nagging about the same issue that if you see me improving on or working on, it should be done.
But are you improving on it? Because why else would she be repeating herself time and
Well,
time
she
again?
thinks that either A, the behavior hasn't changed to her liking,
Right.
Okay, that's true.
right?
She
And
wants
even
you to
though-
do
That's
something and
partially
you're
true,
you're
right.
not doing it fast enough.
Right,
Yes,
within
yeah,
her
yeah.
timeline. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's a
Anything
nag.
else?
That is a nag. I mean, it's the tone of voice that's interjected. It's the interrupting, the talking over. I mean,
Matter.
you may be doing to some, and it's the constant nag, 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 nag. And at a certain point, when you get to repeating yourself, a man is just going to tune you out,
Absolutely.
and it's going to be white noise. It's going to be
That's the name of it.
And he is
White
not
noise.
going
Well,
to
you've
get.
been tuned out at that point.
Yeah.
Absolutely tuned out.
He's not going to get the message of what you're trying to communicate. And you need to notice when your man is not engaged in what you're saying, and he's trying to get out of there. He's trying to backpedal and get away from you. You're interjecting negativity as far as your body language. I mean, use a different approach if you're not getting a result.
So a different approach, tone.
Yes, body language.
And another thing is you don't jump on him right when he comes in from work.
Right. Let him decompress.
Decompression is everything.
Right. And I lost my train of thought. Go ahead. What you
Oh
said.
no. Well, I want to know from Nick because Nick is the younger,
Right.
the youngster,
Yeah,
the
from
youngin,
the younger generation.
the youngin.
What do you guys consider
What do you
nagging?
consider nagging?
I mean, a culmination of everything that was already presented.
So
Right?
you're kind of
So
agreeing with what we're.
I agree with what it is that you're saying. More so to your point in regards to change of not change of character, but change of something that you were once doing, and now you're looking to improve upon, and you're doing it in at your pace. And
At your pace.
you know,
Yes.
things of that nature. And
Yes.
just because she's not seeing it or it's not being done on her timeline, but yet and still she feels the need to come at you in a combative, disrespectful type of, talking sideways, being
Right.
being
Yes.
combative and things of that nature. So I mean, a lot of that happens, on the playing field today.
Right.
There's this thing. Shout out to Kevin Samuels.
Oh yeah.
He has this thing called sign language: shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right.
Okay.
All of these are things that, according to him and the manosphere, anyways, these are things that some women tend to use when they are being constructively criticized, critiqued, or when there's some logic or an irrefutable fact that's being thrown at them that they either just don't like or they don't agree to. At the end of the day, they don't like. So they use these things against whoever it is they're talking to.
Okay.
Again, shaming, insulting, guilt, things of that nature.
It's a defense mechanism.
Very much so.
Right. Well, yeah, you can call it that. But it's all of that is in the, I would say, guise of nagging, elaborate nagging, if you will.
Right.
I just elaborated on a bunch of shit, but
Right.
yeah, that's pretty much.
But then let's look at the flip side of that.
Okay.
She asked you to do something
Okay.
2 weeks ago. Now another 2 weeks. Now 6 weeks has gone by, and you still haven't changed the toilet seat.
Well, that's on
Is
you.
she nagging?
No, that's on that guy.
That's on that guy, and that guy that you can't blame nagging. You're
Right.
just lazy. You haven't took care of what you.
But if she's constantly bringing it up every day, do you just do it because she's nagging, or that's just lazy and neglect?
It's lazy and neglect.
Yeah, because
So
honestly, if
how does she change her delivery
to get you to
to
do
get
it?
the result?
The first time she asked you to do it, that's the not firm, but the soft, and she's being respectful and, hey, babe, you think you can change this? Blase, blase. For me, okay, cool. I'm going to change it right then and there. Upon you not doing it the 5th time or whatever, and now she's coming at you,
Right.
then yeah, going to your
Well,
point.
she's going to come at you because she's frustrated too at a certain point.
And going to your point, that's on that dude.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, you done pissed her off.
Because there is that side of it. Now, can you consider that nagging, or is that just her being persistent? That's trying to get a result.
I wouldn't classify
But
it as nagging.
But still, I mean, she needs to get a result. So there needs to be a different approach.
And you should change your. First of all, as a man, you should do that. If you said you're going to do it,
right?
So I'm pretty sure she asked you to do it, and the man said, "Yeah, babe, I'll do it. I'll get around to it," or you know what I'm saying. So he didn't do his end of the bargain.
And she just needs to find a different approach. Like attack you. I mean, present it to you. I won't say attack.
Okay.
Present it to you.
Okay, because you got okay.
With something that's going to mean something to you. She'll ask you, are you a man of integrity? Are you a man of your word? She'll say, if you want to.
Can I give her a percentage when she asked me that?
No,
or 60%.
Are you a man of your word, babe? Are you a man of integrity? Well, yes, absolutely. I am. Well, you gave me your word you were going to change the toilet seat 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that's gangster.
See, use a different approach, ladies.
Damn, you gave away that game for free. But that's real.
Right.
Would that work for you, you think? If your lady came to you like the approach that the doc just said? I'm taking out because you probably would just have done it beforehand, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But say you didn't.
What you're saying, I mean,
days went by.
Okay, so going with your scenario, I would say my rebuttal to that would be, well, you're with me because you know I'm a man of action, correct? Correct. Okay, so then you know that I'm gonna get it done, correct? Mm-hmm. Correct. Okay, so then why are you going back and forth with me on this?
Because it's not done.
Because it's not done, no. In a timely fashion.
Right.
It's gonna get done. Just because it's not getting done on your timeline that's a personal problem.
So don't ask me every 6 months about it.
This is exactly you're asking me this.
No, that's why I'm just looking at you.
Yeah, this is exactly
I'm shocked by this response.
That's how I would approach that.
Okay, so let's say taking out the garbage. So how long would you wait until you would take out the garbage? If she asked you, hey, babe, the garbage.
I'm taking it out like right then and there. Okay,
so that wouldn't be an issue. Yeah, you're saying on certain things there would be an issue. Like you said, changing out the toilet seat to put another toilet seat in.
Right.
Okay, so, all right.
Or something that you guys have, something that she's noticed within you, a character flaw or something like that.
Okay, like for example,
something you can work on. By me, for example, I'll throw myself on the bus.
It's the best time to do it.
My ex, her whole thing with me was, you're too black and white, Nick. There's never a gray area.
Oh.
And I was like that. And in some ways, I'm still like that because I don't like playing in the gray area. You're either doing it or you're not doing it. It's either yes or no. I don't want to talk about all this other extra shit because that's all it is.
Well, hold on. I want to stop you because I think that's a perfect topic because I think in a relationship, you got to have some gray area, though.
Yeah, in some, right. And it depends on, for me, it depends on what it is in which you can distribute and play in the gray area. But if it's something as simple as 2 + 2, I don't want, but she's making it something bigger than what it needs to be. I'm not rocking with that. Yeah, you're not about to be riding my back because
to continue
a personal issue that you're having.
Ooh. Okay, Doc.
Right.
So,
but if 6 weeks has lapsed,
that's too
what's
long.
your excuse?
That's again going back to what Barry was saying. That's on that dude. He's lazy.
Right.
He's just being. That's not nagging. That's just she got a bum ass dude sitting at the house.
But Nick, as you know, in the barbershop, we got men. The first thing, I'm one of them. Oh, she nagging me too. But then you have to kind of sit down, ask the man sometimes to take the accountability. Be like, well, she did ask me a month ago.
But what is she nagging you about? Because see,
if I say I'm going to do something,
scenarios that's being presented right now, we're talking about taking out the trash, maintenance, things of that nature. But like something bigger than that, because usually, and women, ladies, please.
No, chime in because you know how we do it. We start talking among ourselves.
Right. So, but it's usually an underlying. It's layers to the onion. There's a reason why she's on your back about whatever it is that you're not doing that she has since asked you to do 2, 3, 4 a month ago.
But Nick, you have probably said that you were going to do it, and you haven't got around to do it. So if you would have said no, I'm not going to do it, would this even be a discussion?
That would be a whole other argument. You're arguing about something else, about why you're not going to do it.
So, fellas, the best way to get around all this, when she asks you to do something, give her a time when you're going to do it. Oh, I'm going to do that Saturday morning. Now, if you don't do it Saturday morning and she calls you on it, it's not nagging. Okay. Unless she says, okay, it's Saturday morning, get up and do this. Okay, I'm going to have my coffee, babe. You got to have coffee? Get up and do it. I want it done. Can you do this? Well, you said you were going to do that. Are you done with your coffee yet? Now, that's nagging.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect example.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've all seen, or most of us have seen, Tyler Perry's "Why Did I Get Married" and "Why Did I Get Married To?" Michael Jai White's character. I forget the actress's name. Tasha something. Her name's Tasha something.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. That is the
beautiful lady.
Very definition of nagging. His wife throughout that whole film.
Ooh.
That is nagging. That to me is nagging.
But did he give her a reason?
There were times where he did, but most of the time
it was
too much. It was extra.
She was just being a mega bitch about things for no reason.
It's totally unreasonable.
Right.
I remember that. Yeah.
So there's your definition of nagging right there.
Okay, so that's Nick's. Yep. Nick, can we get to a couple of the questions, please?
So then, and let me get through these real quick because we still got 2 other topics.
Oh, okay. Man, we go back too fast, man.
Renee says a lot of men pick and choose what they want to hear. Okay. William says, I think couples need to be patient with each other in the beginning. You don't know what kind of scars that other is carrying into the relationship. Well, William, I would say to that, that is why at the beginning, you guys sit down and talk and get all of that out there. And before you even start dating and getting up in other people's faces, you need to address all those traumas and scars or whatever have you before you even start entertaining individuals, because that is not, it's not my responsibility that you're carrying, scars from yesteryear from the last dude she was with. Or
well, hold on. I agree with that. You're right. But as a mate, you're going to have to take on some of that to help.
Absolutely right.
I disagree with that.
Absolutely.
What do you think?
But I think, you should. I mean, a lot of people
can be empathetic and supportive, but you're not going to project all of your whatever it is.
Well, I didn't say all. I said some of that, though. I think that's part of it. But you're right. Sometimes it does. What do you think?
A lot of people bring even childhood trauma into their adulthood.
Right.
And when you do and you recognize that, you need to bring that to your mate's attention. Like, as for instance, one thing I cannot take, don't holler at me. please don't holler at me. I do not react well to holler.
It's the trigger.
It's a trigger for you.
Yeah.
And you should when you recognize these things themselves, let people know.
But you are bringing that trauma into the relationship. So she is somewhat, because that could be the way that her and her family, whoever.
Right. And you're letting them know this is something that I haven't learned to deal with, is being hollered at because of childhood trauma.
Okay.
Let it be known.
That's an easy fix.
That can be an easy fix for who? You talk about for him, or you talk about his mate? That's an easy fix.
I think that
because it comes down to
if Doc's requesting for his wife to not yell at him due to a childhood trauma that has yet to be rectified, or Doc himself, that's something that I would say his wife could. I don't want to say easily fixed, but that's something that can be fixed.
Exactly.
She can acknowledge
that.
She can acknowledge it,
right?
But it's going to take time.
But
she has to be a participant in that. And you are bringing some past trauma that has nothing really to do with her.
Exactly.
So she's might be changing a behavior that she, saying, she might just talk loud like that.
Right.
Or that's the way that her family communicated. Exactly. So that's what I was just saying.
I get you. Facebook user says, give him a valid chance to do it. My wife wants me to move immediately if she says or asks me to do something. Ask me of something. I move at my pace, not hers.
Okay, right. So that's not a problem. Your name is coming as Facebook user. Put your name in the comments so we know who you are.
Yes, unfortunately, StreamYard has changed where they. Yes, so sorry guys.
So that's fine. Your timeline. Just when she asks you to do something, let her know what your timeline is, and you guys agree.
Yeah, and it shouldn't have to be like for what Nick was saying, exact time. I agree with Nick, but it should be a timeline because you would do that at a job, right? When somebody had come ask you, a boss or manager,
and if you're forgetful, I mean, tell them I'll do that Saturday morning. Just remind me.
Just remind me.
You know, I'll get it.
Also, a good factor is knowing your partner, knowing that he'll get to it when he gets to it, or usually it takes him this long, or it takes her this. Like you got to know your partner,
right? And Liz, she brought up a good point right there.
Not always. There are times I'll wait it out, then ask again. Elizabeth says, I'll simply hire someone.
She's to get it done. She said, I'm going to get it done.
Elizabeth, wouldn't that get a kind of annoying if you have a mate, right? And the simple thing, if he said he was going to take care of it, don't you want that at some point, like you said, integrity comes in, that they're going to take care of what they say? You know what I'm saying? Right. It is easy to hire somebody. You're right, but this is your mate. We are dealing with. I'm just
if he doesn't get it done,
I'm like you, Elizabeth. I believe in that too.
Within his timeline, he doesn't get it done within his timeline. She's not gonna nag. She's just gonna get it done. She's gonna hire someone.
But doesn't that take away from the relationship?
No, you're gonna move on, and it's not an argument. You got it done, and the man should learn from that. Oh wow, I was lacking. I should have got that done.
Well, he might not. He might be like it might just depend on Elizabeth to take care of it.
Right. Hey, you did a good job.
Hey, you did a great job. So
I'm a tip.
So you're gonna move exactly.
All right, fellas.
Okay.
That's a dope topic. Let me go ahead.
Oh wait, hold on. I gotta see what Pastor said. He moves at his own pace.
He's talking about he moves at his own pace.
Oh Lord, Pastor. See, Pastor. Now wait a minute. Some stuff. Okay.
So this was the topic. In case you guys missed it. Want to keep your man, stop checking to see if he's cheating, and start to see if he's happy.
Right.
And once again,
it may not be your fault if he is unhappy, but you want to know, can you contribute to his happiness?
Well, you do want to have some sense of why, how, why.
Right. And can you contribute to it, or are you taking away from his happiness?
And real quickly, guys, we want to thank each and every one of you guys for tuning in to ShopKulture. Remember to like and share, and really you got to join the group. We're going to just call it the group sometime.
Right.
The ShopKulture Live group. Join it. That's all I got to say.
See at the bottom of the screen?
Yes.
Okay, so the next topic. An actual relationship. Ain't nobody got time for this. So why do people say they want a relationship but don't have the time to actually cultivate one?
There's certain topics that hit home. You be like, now wait a minute here.
Is that true?
But it's time to be real though.
That sounds like a been there, done that to me, Barry.
Dancing around with the topic.
Oh, Nick, that producer. That's what I like a producer to be like. All right, brother. I almost said the N word. I almost slipped. I was trying to correct somebody on the N word. I've almost slipped on that. But you might want a relationship, and I think a lot of times, sometimes you do. But as I have learned, there is something called life.
And life happens.
I want to hear this. Go ahead.
And life happens and challenges happen. And I've noticed, I'm just saying from a personal standpoint, not to go into my background, but just with family. I might want to, I do would love to have a relationship, but what do you do in that situation? How do you balance it off? And then a lot of times, even somebody was saying, well, you ask who you dating to participate in some of these activities. Mm-hmm. But if you're just starting off, do you know what I'm saying? Do you necessarily, would you feel comfortable inviting somebody into that type of situation where it's just stuff just moving at a fast pace?
Right. Well, see, it all depends on what you want in a relationship, how you view a relationship. What is a relationship to you? Mm-hmm. Is it a fairy tale where you spend every moment together, or is it a relationship where you commit to each other, where you have trust in each other, you're both living your own lives, mm-hmm. and you make time to share together? I mean, everyone
but I agree, it is making life. Time, yes. But is it going to be an effective way to start or maintain a relationship to get to, marriage per se, when you're in this type of, you know what I'm saying?
Well, it shows a level of commitment. If you're able to stick to a relationship, maybe it may seem distant, or it may seem mm-hmm. strained, or it may take longer to get started because you're not spending as much quality time. Are you both cool with that? Do you have busy lives? Yes, you have busy lives. When you have some downtime, is this person important enough for you to spend that downtime with? And keep in mind, you will make time for what's important to you.
What do you guys think about it?
In response to the meme, Shaquilla Moore says, in response to the meme you just shared, a lot of people are just lazy and don't want to put in the work that relationships require, and I agree with her 1,000%.
Okay.
And then William says they're not ready to be, pretty much the same thing. They're not ready to commit, submit, or sacrifice fully. And that is also 1,000% fact.
Okay. And Nick, so what's your take on, you think that is, from your standpoint?
I mean, I agree with our viewers. I agree with what Doc was saying. Mm-hmm. I'm in a bit of a situation myself where, I'm dating shout out to all single mothers out there. I'm dating, a single mom right now. And mm-hmm. the reason why I'm prefacing that with single mom is because it's to me, it's a different dynamic than just dating a woman with no kids versus a woman with kids.
Very different dynamic.
Very different. I'm trying to get her to understand that. We've been dating for about 5-6 months.
Okay.
She's ready to move forward into a relationship.
Okay.
I'm getting there. I'm ramping up. I date with intent. So right. I'm not stringing her along or none of that. We've talked about this several times. Mm-hmm. She has this thing where she thinks that I'm just going to pull out, disengage, and walk away and kind of just, leave her high and dry. And then there's the, the baby and whatnot, and getting in with the kid. And, I understand. It's just a lot, right? And for me, I try my best to explain to her that I'm taking my time. It's not that I don't want to be in a relationship with you. Just past experiences, I've rushed into relationships and they've tanked completely.
Right.
Just blew up in my face. No. Rushing into a relationship as in like me and the girl just knowing each other for like a month. And then we just head off into a relationship without actually doing the work and properly dating, vetting, and getting to know each other. Short-term goals, long-term goals, all of that. We both didn't, my exes at the time, we didn't do that.
Okay.
Barry, I told you about one of them.
Yeah.
So, or you know about both of them, actually.
I know. So, I'm a barber. But you guys tell me a lot.
So. But the one that I'm with right now, she's awesome, business owner, super dope mom, all of that. For me, I'm already, from my perspective as a man coming into a ready-made family, that's a lot to take on. Okay, so let's stop right. Yeah,
let's stop right there. From what you heard, is he making the proper time and using all, or is that he still has?
I was going to ask you guys, what do you think?
He still has reservations because it sounds like he's still reservations.
Well, the first thing, if you consider getting into a relationship with a woman with young or school-age kids,
Mhm.
first of all, you have to like kids.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a problem. Yeah.
And you have to, secondly, you have to understand that some of your time and your resources are going to go towards that child. And then they're going to have
And
to
you
be
have to
put
be all right
high
with that. Yes.
on the priority level.
Right.
And you have to be all right with that.
Yep.
You have to be a selfless person. It can't just be the two of you because it's a package deal.
Right.
And you have to bring value to that.
Mm-hmm.
And
time.
What he just said, bringing value to
Value.
this.
Yes.
But he's gonna say and time.
And that's one of the things that I try to explain to her. I want to make sure that with me coming into this, that I'm the right guy for the job.
Right.
We're not just off some fairy tale and we're in the moment type thing. I recognize that there's a child in the mix. I come from that.
Yeah.
You know, single parent. So I know exactly what that child is.
But it's also more than just a financial aspect. It's the time factor, right? It's you have to be willing to say, and that's what we're talking about. Even with this question, was the time factor. You want those things, but you still haven't fully did it because there is a lot to it than that. Doesn't mean that you don't want a relationship. It sounds like you do want a relationship.
I do.
But you have other factors that goes into it, and that's kind of what the meme was saying. It was. You might want a relationship, but you have other factors that goes into it.
Well, in my situation, there's
regardless of what it is, that's what the meme is. It's about time.
Yes, it's important. So with my situation, or anyone who's been through that or going through it, that's why for me, you know, it's not that I can't cultivate a relationship or that I don't want one. I'm taking the necessary precautions or whatever, and making sure that we're both going into this properly, and to where once we ramp up to, okay, we are officially a unit in a relationship, we know what to expect, we know how to execute, we know how to just progress for the better.
Okay. Right. And you have to take your time, your time, put that strong foundation in place and make sure you want to move on, because you don't want to hurt that child. Because you're a stand-up guy, you're good, you're a positive male influence. And when you bring a positive male influence into a one-parent home, that child is going to look up to you as a. And
you know what? Doc,
and it goes. And another thing, I don't mean to cut you because just on the time, is that I think if you already met the child, you should be past the precautionary parts on a lot of it, because the child, like you're saying, is the most important aspect of this.
Very much so, yeah.
Okay, but you've already met the child, so it should, you know what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like, you already cultivated that part, so what's, you know what I'm saying? It needs to move forward if you're going to do it.
I mean, I'm in and out. I'm not there like every day, you know, and that was one of the things, that was the first thing that I actually spoke to when we started dating. Like, I don't want to, you know, come around and then I get attached to the child gets attached to me. You know, we want to make sure that we're doing this.
That you're solid first. Right.
Now,
you know, but you can do a lot of it being solid though and still not be solid. So at some point, you just got to, like you're doing, you're going. But you want the relationship. So I think that's what we're missing from this part, is that you want the relationship.
But there's
barriers,
and not just with the child. There's other things that I've seen personally where I'm just like, ooh, wait a minute, hold on. I don't know just yet, you know.
Well, hold on, we got a quite a few.
All right.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay,
yeah. Barbershop talk. We forget about you guys. We need a bell so somebody can just.
I know, right? Okay, so Renee says, I would love to have a healthy relationship. Hard to find someone to meet me halfway.
Renee, you're in the right place. You're in the ShopKulture live group. There are a lot of men out there. Check out the men in the group.
Josh says,
single men.
Josh says, what up, B? Looking good, sir.
How you doing, sir? Thank you for tuning in.
Katrina says, some people do not know how to be committed in a relationship. Okay. Josh says, kids get attached. You feel a role of mother/father that isn't there daily. Doesn't mean their parent isn't involved, but you feel a role as a role model, in my opinion. Exactly.
Josh Milam.
Exactly.
You hit it. You hit it right on the.
Right.
Good job,
yes,
Josh.
I have, Nadia. I have met the child.
And you hung out, and you guys.
Super dope. Yes. 5 months. Yes. So again, why do men say they want a relationship but don't have time to cultivate it?
Wow,
I'm sure the guys will get to that in a second.
Okay.
A lot of people run into relationships and even marriages from lust alone. Exactly. Take your time, bro. If she is for you, then it will be. I appreciate you, Mondrell.
Mondrell.
That's right.
Good man right there,
I want to speak
Mondrell.
on that for a minute.
Let me put that up for a minute because I want that to marinate.
Right.
That's how
Mondrell with the heat.
That's how I feel.
And that's a common mistake that a lot of people get into.
Exactly.
Before they get to know each other, they get into a sexual, intimate relationship before you get to know that person. And then you have good sex together. Yeah, the sex is bomb. You evolve and you play on that and you set that as the basis of your relationship. Once you get to know each other, it may come to the point where you don't have much in common. You don't really like each other, but you have good sex. And that's not sustainable. I mean, take your time, respect, trust, effective communication, and friendship.
Even over 35, 30. I mean,
That's
I understand what you're saying. So you think that, give me a percentage of relation. You think that if you waited before you had sex, that you think that, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I don't know, is it practical in today's times where things are going to occur? Even if you wait to have sex, relationship might not work.
It may not.
It's no guarantees.
But at least you know the person.
A risk, guys.
Sometimes
just like investing.
Sometimes you may get to know that person and decide, I don't even want to get into an intimate relationship.
And you might.
I'm seeing too many red flags that I don't like.
You might.
But if you jump into that intimate relationship and you have a good physical connection, but then there's other things that you don't like, you're going to be basing your relationship on the sex that you enjoy together.
Exactly.
I will say you do value people that's been, when they're going through the fires with you, even if it's not the time, you know what I'm saying, or spending the quality time or whatnot, but just the voice, just being available to help you and guide you through those type of things. That means a lot.
Let me get the last the last two comments real quick. William says, I get what he's saying. That's why patience is key. You're doing the right thing. Thank you, William. I appreciate that. Nadia says, I say take your time as well. See, thank you. I appreciate you guys. That's why I wanted to share that. Because it's indicative of the topic, you know, and I have no problem with throwing myself under the bus, you know. So
hey, Coco,
is that Coco?
Yeah,
Coco in the building.
It's an actual thing that's going on. But
from Houston, Texas.
I thought that I would share that to get the audience's take and y'all's take, and I feel like I'm good.
But also I think it goes back to what we're saying is you are cultivating it, but you're also using time, and you want to have a relationship, but it takes time.
Exactly.
That's all I've ever said with that. That's like, you know what I'm saying? Yes, you can, you know what I'm saying? But you made it known to her that this is what I want. This is what I'm working towards. And that's what you do. So
right. And there's no certain amount of time. I mean, it may take 2 weeks for you to lay these 4 things out, for you to say, yeah, I can communicate with this person. We can sit up and talk for hours with each other and
not talk about anything
physical. Yeah, talk about nothing, not physical. So you can see where you can become good friends. You know, is this person respectful for me? Are they rude? Do they rudely talk over me or anything like that? No. I mean, do they pause when you're, you know, and vice versa?
I'm glad that
do you have mutual respect for each other?
I'm glad that you put all that out there, Doc, because we've done all of that. And throughout this journey, we have been very, aware, alert to address red flags.
Right, right.
That's what I love about what we're building on, because I'm not afraid to tell her, hey, that was disrespectful. I didn't like that.
Right.
And she'll do the same with me.
That's good.
And
I mean, because respect comes before love.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, you can't be in love with someone that you don't respect. I mean, people will all say, but I love you because of lust and you have a physical chemistry with each other, but you're being disrespectful to this person. That's an oxymoron. How can you be disrespectful to someone that you love? You can't. Respect has got to be there first. And if you're really disrespectful, you'll never get to the point of love.
Not at all. Rico Evans says, Barry, are you single? If so, can I take your advice in consideration?
That's why we got the doctor, because you probably gonna want his advice on there.
So you're saying no? You shouldn't take
hey, you want to, but I'm dating, and I got a special someone. She knows, and it's been in my corner and appreciate it. So
that's what matters.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. They want sex and not a relationship is my answer. That is per Katrina Williams.
She said that what?
They want
Okay,
want sex and not a relationship. That's
and Katrina, when you say they, who do you mean?
Yeah, who are they?
She's talking about men.
Okay. Don't say it's just men, because women want sex. Sometimes that's all they want.
Because it's all on men. Men are the only ones that are tripping out here, and it can't be. It just can't be women that's doing it too.
It's amazing how it's just so easy. You know, I'm not saying you're doing it, Katrina. I'm just saying it's so easy that we just point men.
The most likely culprit.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, anything else closing on that?
No, topic? Man, that was a good topic though. And guys, you guys can keep the discussion going, even when we change topics. This is ShopKulture, and this is the group. And if you see a meme or a possible question that we can make a meme off of, just put it up there. You guys don't just wait for us.
Right.
Now, some of the meme, now we're going to ask you guys to be respectful, you know what I'm saying, and what you put up.
Is there a private inbox for the group?
There is a private inbox. And you got, yes.
So if you have a question, a personal question you want to ask, you want to address, you want some input on, shoot us some message.
Spicy in there.
Yeah, well, yeah. And let's keep it, and please don't, not too much.
All right, we're on our last topic.
Okay.
Here we go. Being a stepfather to another man's kids is one of the dumbest decisions a man could ever make with his life.
Yeah, now, Nick, I'm going to be honest with you, because I seen when you put this up, and then you had made an interesting comment. Were you making a comment from your perspective on there, or you were making just a general?
I didn't make a comment on there. I was commenting because Twan had said something, and he had responded in a way where he thought that was my viewpoint.
That's what I was asking you.
I was doing was sharing a meme.
Right.
Even on the post, I just put up an emoji that was just like, thoughts. Right. That was it. And my response on that was, I was just throwing it up for everyone's thoughts. Right. And,
and whoever has that frame of mind, that viewpoint, is a selfish person.
Very. I don't even understand how you would be all right, and especially be the first one talking about you seeing what's going on with, single mothers raising these young men, or even just I'm going on from the boys, young for boys. We need role models, especially in our community.
Right.
And we worry about money.
Yeah.
The framework of that was
just garbage to me.
It was. I'll admit it was off. It was off. It was a bit harsh. However, I do understand where they're coming from a little bit, because you do have it. Hold on. Okay. Because you do have individuals out there who, again, they just have a preference. Because that whole thing, I had to go back and look at the comments on the original post, and a lot of it was due to men just having a preference in whether or not they wanted to date women with children or not. And obviously, if you don't want to deal with a woman with a child, you just simply don't, And
in our age, when we get in our 30s, 40s, 50s, most people have children. Yeah. And you don't know what they went through, why they're a single parent, but it takes a level of consideration to consider that child and their upbringing and their future and what they need. Because if you care about that parent, you got to care about that child. It's a package deal.
You shouldn't bash people though for having. I would say again, I guess playing devil's advocate.
Okay.
Shouldn't bash people for not wanting to, because again, in that original thread, you had people that were just like, "Hey, it's not for me." If another guy wants to take on that type of responsibility, cool. But under that,
he didn't say it like that though. He didn't say it like that.
That's what I'm thinking. That's why I'm breaking this down.
Okay.
Because at face value, that it's harsh. It sounds crazy. But when you go and you peel back the layers of the onion, aka the original thread in which everyone was given their
can you put that back up so we can see that again? Yeah. And we can break that down. So I'm trying to see your point, but I'm just reading what it says. I don't see.
Right, and I'm listening. I hear the viewpoint that you're coming from.
That's a totally different viewpoint than what this
is. But then a lot of these bums that are saying that it's not for me. There's another dude out there being a positive mental influence to your child.
And the first one talking about Black Lives Matter, Black this, and all the community. I'm Black this, but you see it like that.
Example right there. Why? For the individual who's not taking the disrespectful approach like this right here, why are they X, Y, and Z, a bum or selfish or because they don't want to.
But
No,
you
I'm not saying that.
saying selfish to this comment. Is
No,
what saying.
I'm saying
he's speaking directly about this comment.
Okay.
We're not saying that. If you don't want to.
I mean,
this is a preference.
No.
Yeah.
I was going from where this came from.
Okay, hold on. But I was segueing off of your comment where you're saying some guys are saying that's not for me. I don't want to do it. Well, those are the same bums who abandon their own child, and there's some other guy out there playing stepfather to the child.
I'm not going to say that that's not true, but at the same time, Doc, we don't know if that guy has kids that he's abandoning. Because that right there, that speaks volumes about that man for you to go and skip out on your child, and then you're over here talking about how you're not going to date a woman with
the problem is they won't date them, but they will have sex with these women.
You're creating single mothers, but you're also bashing them at the same time. So I get where you're coming from.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of that going on out there.
Let's read some. Oh, okay, guys, we got a lot of.
So Mondrell says this is the dumbest meme I've ever seen. That's some bull BS.
That's a weak man. I agree with
Henry
you.
Jones, my guy. I totally agree with you, and I hate to see. We got too much of that.
Shouldn't be dating a man or a woman with kids. Simple. Henry Jones says package deal or step on, brother.
There it is.
William says plenty of other single fish in the sea, right? And Henry Jones says preaching. He's agreeing.
And like I said, I bet you that guy would have sex with a single mother, though.
Absolutely.
And criticize that. So I don't know. I just think we can do better. I didn't like that one. But I understand your point.
Yeah, a lot of people were triggered by that.
They were very triggered about it.
And single moms all together.
Because you're basically diminishing their role, and that's a selfless act. That is a hell of a selfless act.
It really is. Yeah.
Right.
And as you know, you're starting to go through the process.
And then Barry, you remember when we first started ShopKulture,
I've talked to you about that.
Topic that we had, and I'm not dating single moms. I don't want to deal with none of that baggage. None of that baby daddy drama. I don't want to deal with none of that. That's all her, and that's it.
But when you meet
the difference was I wasn't actively at the time like dating them and then bashing them at the same time. I wasn't doing that.
Right.
So,
I mean, it just takes a selfless person to step into something like that and to see a hardworking mother takes good care of her kids.
Right.
You can bring value. You can see where you guys can be a family unit. You see a need in this child's life. She fulfills the need in your life, and it goes full circle.
And for me, because obviously I eventually broke out of that, crazy thought.
I call it, how about this, growing up?
Right. Right.
Evolving.
And then me coming from that environment as well, and then going back to what you just said, Doc, you see how she is as a mother and as an individual as a whole, and how she's just carrying that load.
You can tell a lot about how a woman raised her children.
Right. And so that was, that sparked interest. It was dope.
Yeah.
And I gravitated towards that, and I became more open.
Right.
And there's pros and cons to everything.
I mean, and I've had a friend come to me recently asking for my input on a situation he was in. He had met a woman.
Okay.
They were getting along great. They were great together all around. So now he meets her kids. He goes to her house. The house is dirty. The kids are lazy and obese. And she's buying them whole pizzas at a time to eat. He tried to stick in there and help. Let me help you clean this up. Let me help you do this. Let me help you do that. And the kids are just shiftless and lazy. And the house was just dirty. And the worst thing is that she thought that was okay to bring someone into that. And he checked out.
And so
you have to check out immediately. That doesn't fit any type of criteria.
Yeah. And so now,
to me, that's a black and white case, though. That's not layers of gray.
That happens, though. And again, in that meme, you had dudes that were speaking to that, saying, "Look, I tried that. It wasn't something for me. I mean, I'm automatically coming in at a disadvantage because I know I'm not priority. The child is a priority, as they should be.
And you have to recognize that coming into that situation,
where she has disrespectful children or whatever. And then there's guys that tried it and then just ultimately was turned off by it, heard the experience, and now they're in the mindset of that's not for me.
Right. And you step gingerly into situations like that moving forward. And then unless you see she's a real good mom, she's good with her kids, the kids are well mannered, they take care of their responsibilities, their school studies, the house is clean, they're doing their chores. Now that's something that, it's easier for you to be a part of.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. And like I even seen when stepfathers bring their children and get a haircut, and you can see the pride in the kid. It's just a different vibe. You can see the value that brings and the happiness that brings you. And I just, when I see selfish, like are you tripping about taking a kid out to eat? I mean,
you got to take into account the things that were just laid out on the table. There's reasons why people are choosing to, or because we're in the context of things, there's reasons why some men opt out of not taking on such a role.
Right.
Because
that's fine.
Of that,
but do you have to diminish the people? You know what I'm saying? Diminish the stepfather.
Okay, so you're paying attention to the meme. Let's get off the meme.
Okay, just in general.
Let's get off the meme. Just in general, because the meme is just what somebody was being.
I know, being facetious. I understand that. Yes. Okay. But I'm just saying, but that's not what I'm saying. I've heard that before. Is what I was getting at.
Right.
We're gonna shop. I ain't dating a woman with a kid.
They don't have to be. You don't have to be disrespectful.
Oh, V's in the house.
Hey, V, how you doing?
Dudes go through certain experiences. They see things. They're just like, whoa, wait a minute. You let your kids do that? That's how you let your kids talk to you? That's how you talk to your kids? Wow, this is how y'all live? Can't blame a guy for not wanting to, or even a woman who's dating a man with children.
And now, do you think that dynamic is different? Do you think it's different when a woman comes into a dynamic of a single father? Do you think she's as skeptical, or is she more open to it?
Well, we got to ask them because it might be. I would love that. I would love to know that one.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me go through these comments real quick. Montreal says, "To each their own. Some women don't want a man with kids."
Yes.
I know a few.
Yeah.
Renee says, "I don't blame him." Mondrell says, "Barry, I have a tribe."
Yes.
Henry says, "Can't blame a man for that choice."
Right.
Renee says, "And they got a dirty house."
Oh man.
Nope.
Red flag.
Renee, I'm with you, Renee.
Hello, V. Thanks for joining us. Henry says, "Yes, sir." Cazette says, "Us women do the same thing."
Do the same thing in terms
of what? Please elaborate.
Yes.
B says he is a great man to take responsibility for another man's kids.
Great man or woman.
I have bowed out of a relationship or two for a man having kids.
Oh, okay.
All right. So,
bad kids.
Bad kids.
That's just disrespectful kids altogether.
Right.
William says when you get into a relationship like that, you have to know which piece of the puzzle you fit in and make a decision if you want to keep that relationship going or not. Exactly.
But it's a hard thing and I can understand this point. It's a hard thing to get in a relationship and you create that bond with those kids.
Right.
Does that kind of force you to stay maybe into a relationship or a situation that just is stagnant and just not moving forward because of the kids? I can understand that.
People do, and a more selfless person would consider the kids and try to stay and try to work it out for that sake. Yeah, I can see that.
She says, "I won't date a single dad. I'm too old. My kids are grown."
Oh, okay. Well, who said that? Rakita with the guns. Oh, right. She had but so all single fathers, or a certain age that
the kids should be? I mean,
yes.
Are we saying school age kids?
No, she's basically saying if your kids aren't grown out the house like my kids are grown out the house.
Okay, well,
there you go.
And that's her prerogative. And hey, good for yes.
She's like, I done raised mine and sent them on. It's my turn to live my life.
Rakita, but what about some fun though? This one. So
not with the kids knocking on the door.
Kids on the door. Like, hell no. So I always wondered that. If you want to just have fun, does that still apply? Whether you have kids or not. You know what I'm saying? Because I've heard people say, "Well, I'm not gonna date somebody with kids." I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, I'll have fun with them."
Right. Have fun with the kids.
Fun with the mom or dad. So.
I don't know, because usually in a situation like that, the woman is dating with intent on locking in with this man, not just She has kids. She doesn't have time. She really doesn't have time to play around with your ass.
She wants someone that's going to bring value to that family unit.
Right.
Provide some direction, some stability, some leadership, and be a positive male influence to that child.
You playing around. She already got a kid. She don't need another one.
Yeah.
Okay. All she gonna look at you as. B says, or women, I was a step parent at a young age, and it was a challenge. It was hard for me to leave after 4 years because I became close to the son. However, I would not do it again as a mature, grown woman.
Wow. And so B said no, and I done it.
It's not for me.
Who said that? Malika? Okay, what's not for dating? Okay.
Dating people with children.
Dating somebody with children,
Right.
Malika, is that what you're saying? Interesting, man. Interesting point. So that is the conclusion of all our topics, guys. Once again, we want to thank each and every one of you guys for tuning in to Shop Culture IG. How you guys doing? Thank you for tuning in. Man, the last words, we got it?
I was going to ask you guys.
Oh, okay, go ahead, man.
What would you two, what advice would you bestow upon young men that are out here dating single mothers?
I would tell them, don't look at yourself as a priority. I mean, look at yourself as a role model to that child, because that child's is picking up on everything you do. He or she may not particularly listen to everything you say, but they are watching everything you do. Be a positive male influence in their life.
Okay.
You know what? Another quick thing, and this is off topic, but this was a question that somebody did ask me when I told them this was one of the topics we're going to do is, as a man and you're dating a single mother, do you ever want to meet the biological parent or biological father, and when would be the time to meet him?
I talked about that with a girl that I'm dating, and my mom had actually threw a crazy ass curveball. She was like,
because you should.
She said,
talk to him.
Right. Going to your point, she said, when you finally commit to this woman, you're not only committing to this woman and her family, you're committing to this child, and you're also committing to this child's father and their family, because they're also a factor in that. So, and it'll inevitably happen. It should happen anyways.
What do you guys think? Do you guys think that is something that should be done? Because I've met a lot of people that they're cool with, like, nah. I'm like, oh. Yeah, I think it's a respect thing, right? If you're
at a certain point in time, depending on the relationship between the two parents. I mean, if they have a toxic relationship, it's probably best you don't meet them for a while.
Oh, so it has to be what?
No,
amicable. It has to be an amicable relationship for you to move forward.
Right, because if it's toxic between them two, bringing the third into it is going to add toxicity to it. It's not. It probably won't go well.
But do we agree as up here on this panel that that's something that should be done?
Absolutely.
How about reverse? You think when you're dating a woman, right, and the woman's around your child, should she meet, your parents, the son or daughter's
mother? Yes.
Vice
absolutely.
versa, same thing.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
Renee said something that was very, very interesting. I personally don't want a relationship with anyone that has young kids. And this is the part that stuck out to me. She says, my kids are grown. Some kids don't respect their parents, which makes me think, would they respect me?
Right.
So that was something that I thought was interesting.
And that's a good point, because when you bring your kids around someone, you have to demand that they respect them.
Right.
First you have to demand your own respect. If they don't respect you, it's going to be hard for you to get them to respect anyone else.
But kids can also sense a certain vibe,
right,
by that person.
Right.
Well, walks in.
They're going to be biased because that's their
parent. Says, I'm glad to catch y'all. I've been recovering from my surgery and missed a few shows.
Prayers your way, Coco. We hope that your recovery is going well.
It should definitely happen. Parents meeting.
Angela, Miss Angela.
Yeah, I agree with Doc. Nadia is she agrees as well. And now this is the last comment I'm gonna read before you get to your final thought, Doc. Malika says, itinerary a relationship with a guy, and I never meet his kids. I never met his kid's mother, and don't want to because I believe she does like. Okay, I don't.
Or she does. I believe she doesn't
like me. I think that's what she's saying.
Well, see, that's when Malika, you need to clear that up. Be adults, have a civil meeting, and that may change her whole impression of you, because she may have something in her mind. I mean, you're with her child's father. She may be still hung up on him, so naturally she doesn't like you. So meet her out of respect. She may change her opinion of you. She doesn't know you.
But Doc, that might be a hard setup, though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
If there's a toxic relationship between her and the man, it could be. It could be awkward, and it may be awkward in the beginning.
Huh? Yeah, it's such a hard, and that's another step that you have to take in terms of when you're dating, single mother or single fathers.
Right.
How are their past relationship or with, the kid's mother or father? So it's always something there.
But then what it also comes down to is what Nick was saying. Take your time, because you want to make sure that you aren't creating a toxic environment, that the two of you are going to get along. And you don't want to get into something where you don't really like each other and create a toxic environment for that child. You may be sexually compatible, but not in any other way, and start to bring toxicity in the life of that child. And because everyone is not good for everyone, and you have to take your time to figure that out.
So moving
Especially
forward,
when kids are involved.
So moving forward, it takes time.
Yes.
Relationships take time.
They all move at different paces.
And so you're telling people they should be okay with whatever pace. How do you speed up the pace, though? If you're getting, if you're in that relationship,
you have to let it run its natural course.
Okay, women and men, you just heard what the doc says. Let it run its natural course.
Then when you realize you have respect, friendship, effective communication, and trust, then you got something. You can build on that.
All right.
There it is.
On to Doc's
Doc,
thought.
hit him. Hit him hard, Doc. Hit him hard.
Well, I just want to say, it doesn't matter how good you are to a person or how much you go out of your way to expose your mate to different things or experiences. If you are incompatible, it's not going to work. The main reason why most relationships don't work is they're filled with constant drama, because you have two incompatible people on two different pages forcing themselves to be with each other. Learn to accept that sometimes it's not that they're bad people or that they need to work on X, Y, Z. It's just you're two fundamentally incompatible people. Don't force it. Forcing love is like hugging a cactus. The harder you hold on, the more it hurts.
It has a lot of prickles on it. Guys, once again, that's the final thought. You know who he is. This is the relationship guru, Dr./Mr. James R. Hill.
Thank you, everybody.
We want to thank the producer, Mr. Nick Jones.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And we want to thank Mr. Lucas.
All good.
All good.
All to the good.
Lucas All Good, the videographer.
And I'm Barry Crosby, and this is Shop Culture. And we want to thank you guys for tuning in every Tuesday at 8:30-ish. And once again, join the Shop Culture live group. It's growing. Invite your friends, or like I should say, like-minded individuals, because we do have some stuff that's a little off the cuff. So
we talk about stuff, people that you think about but don't necessarily want to discuss.
And that's how it is, man.
We're talking about it in the group.
Yes, indeed. So like we always say, you need last.
There are my last words.
Okay.
Peace and love.
All right.
All right.
Stay safe and be blessed. Shop Culture.